From worms to whales, from roses to redwoods, all living organisms are made up of cells. They are the building blocks of life. A cell has many specialized parts. All of them work together to make things move and grow. Hello, and welcome to Cells Video Quiz. I'm your host, Carrie Anderson. We're about to take a journey into the microscopic world of cells. I'm going to review the parts of a cell and their functions, and then some of my friends will test the extent of your knowledge with a super series of quick quiz questions. So listen closely, because all the answers to the questions are included in the presentation. Are you ready? Let's go. Every living thing is made up of cells. Animals have cells, and so do plants. Some creatures are only made up of one cell, while others are made of billions of cells, like humans. We have skin cells, kidney cells, nerve cells, muscle cells. Basically a cell for every part of the body. But not all cells are alike. A cell's size, shape, and internal parts are determined by what they do in the organism. Those three-dimensional cells really pack a lot of punch into such a small space. They carry all of life's main functions in an environment smaller than a grain of sand. They're so tiny that you need a microscope, like this electron microscope, to see a cell and all its parts. Inside every cell are structures called organelles, or small organs, but don't compare them to the organs in your body. These organelles don't look or perform like your lungs, stomach, or brain. However, each one does have a specific function that helps the cell do its job. A typical animal cell is made up of several different organelles. We're going to review most of those basic structures: the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, nucleolus, centrioles, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, mitochondrion, Golgi apparatus, vesicles, lysosomes, peroxisomes, and vacuoles. Keep in mind that some cells have all of these parts, while other cells may only have a few. Nevertheless, it's important to know each one. We're going to begin with the part that keeps it all together, the cell membrane. The cell membrane, or plasma membrane, is the cell's gatekeeper. The cell membrane regulates what comes in and what goes out of a cell. It helps the cell interact with its environment. It's semi-permeable, which means things can enter or leave depending on the needs of the cell. Overall, the cell membrane is a thin layer around the cell that regulates the entrance or exit of materials and holds in the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm includes everything inside the cell membrane except the nucleus. Also a part of the cytoplasm is cytosol, a gel-like fluid made up mostly of water, proteins, and chemicals. The cytoplasm is a place where many cellular components and organelles are found. It's the place where most of the work in a cell occurs and where many substances like proteins are made. Among the cytoplasm and organelles is a scaffold or skeleton, but it isn't made of bones. The cytoskeleton is composed of long, thin fibers made of protein. It provides strength, support, and shape for the cell. When you look at a cell through a microscope, the first part you may see, mainly because it's the largest part, is the nucleus. Cells that have a nucleus are called eukaryotes. Most multicellular organisms, like humans, are eukaryotic. Cells that don't have a nucleus are called prokaryotes. Bacteria fall into this category. The nucleus is the big boss of the cell. It's the control center for everything that happens inside a cell. The nucleus directs the organelles to make sure everything functions properly. The nucleus contains all the instructions to tell the cell what to do. Those instructions are in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. DNA is the hereditary information that cells need to function. The nucleus has to control each organelle, build proteins, and keep track of the DNA. The nucleus has its own membrane called the nuclear envelope. It's also semi-permeable, allowing proteins and ribonucleic acid, or RNA, to enter or leave the nucleus. RNA is a copy of DNA and is used as the instructions for building proteins. Inside the nucleus is the nucleolus, the small dark area containing mostly condensed DNA and RNA used to make ribosomes. We cannot forget about the centrioles, which hang out near the nucleus. The centrioles play a role in cell division. When a cell divides using mitosis or meiosis, it is the responsibility of the centrioles to migrate to the poles of the cell and create the spindles. Spindles act as cables that help pull the cell apart as it divides. In order for a cell to handle all these processes, it needs energy. It gets its energy from food, mainly proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids, which are fats. Proteins, lipids, and complex carbohydrates that enter the cell or are found in the cell are known as macromolecules. These large molecules are processed in the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, one more time. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is attached to the nucleus and loops back and forth to provide a larger surface area for processing macromolecules. Besides processing macromolecules, it also separates molecules headed for the cytoplasm from those being transported to other areas in the cell. If we were able to get close enough to the endoplasmic reticulum, we would notice some parts look bumpy while others look smooth. There are actually two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesizes lipids or fats and carbohydrates. Lipids are required for growing the cell membrane and membranes of the organelles. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum also works to detoxify the cell of poisonous substances. The rough endoplasmic reticulum builds proteins with the help of ribosomes. The ribosomes are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, giving it that bumpy or rough look. Ribosomes are the protein builders of the cell. They can be found floating in the cytoplasm or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. They read the RNA instructions that come from the nucleus and build the needed protein. Once built, the protein continues through the endoplasmic reticulum, where it is packaged and sent to the Golgi apparatus. Well, we've hit our halfway point. I've reviewed the cell membrane, the cell's gatekeeper, the cytoplasm, the area inside the cell membrane without the nucleus, the cytoskeleton, protein fibers for support, the nucleus, the control center, the nuclear envelope, the membrane surrounding the nucleus, the nucleolus, the small dark area in the nucleus, centrioles, which make spindles that help during cell division, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the organelle that makes fats and carbohydrates and removes toxic substances, rough endoplasmic reticulum. With the help of the ribosomes attached to it, this organelle builds large molecules. And finally, ribosomes, the protein builders inside a cell. Wow, that's a lot. But I'm sure you were paying attention. My friends are about to quiz you on what you've learned, so get your paper, pencil, or pen ready.
Being a great detective is all about noticing the smallest of clues. Sometimes the next question is right under your nose. Oh, see what I mean?
Question 1. If chemicals were going to enter the cell, they would need to get by this organelle or gatekeeper, which regulates what goes in and out of the cell. A. Cell plasma. B. Cell membrane. C. Cell organelle. Or D. Cell filament.
Well, like I was saying, sometimes you can miss the smallest of clues. Be sure to write your answer down before you miss it.
For healthy teeth, you need to floss every day. Now try to answer this question.
Question 2. Which of the following is not found in the cytoplasm? A. Cytosol, B. Ribosome, C. Protein, or D. Nucleus?
Well, how'd you do? Don't forget to write down your answers and floss every day.
We have lights, we have camera, we are rolling. Action! And now it's time for you to answer this.
Question 3. The difference between a prokaryote and a eukaryote is A. Prokaryotes are always larger. B. Prokaryotes have a nucleus. C. Eukaryotes have a nucleus. Or D. Eukaryotes don't have a nuclear envelope.
And cut! Ben, did you write down your answer?
We ran out of film.
What? We ran out of film? What is the meaning of this? What do I pay you for? Oh. Why must I work under these conditions?
Mates, over here. I was looking around inside this rock and I stumbled into the next question. Check it out.
Question 4. The nucleus, A, is the control center of a cell. B, contains DNA. C, has a nucleolus. Or D, all of the above.
Wasn't that fascinating? Write down your answers and let's go see what else we can find.
I sure wouldn't want to be nose to nose with a rhinoceros, but I sure would like to hear the next question.
Question 5. The cell needs these organelles to make spindles for cell division. A, center points. B, vesicles. C, vacuoles. Or D, centrioles.
Looks like we're safe from this rhino. Write down your answers and let's get ready for the next one.
All right, let's stop, drop, and roll your way to this next question.
Question 6. Organelles like the endoplasmic reticulum process A. Bacteria, B. Macromolecules, C. Other small organelles, or D. Cytosol.
Great job. Now remember that phrase and write down your answer.
Howdy, partners. You caught me just as I was heading out to the rodeo. But before I head out, try this question.
Question 7. Besides making fats and carbohydrates, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, A, is the control center of the cell. B, regulates the cell membrane. C, helps detoxify the cell. Or D, destroys DNA.
How'd you do? Looks like you handled that like professionals. Great job. Write down your answer, and I will see you back at the ranch.
Just finished these lockers. Now it's time for a break. But first, answer this next question.
Question 8. Rough endoplasmic reticulum needs the help of these organelles to build proteins. A, centrioles. B, vesicles. C, lysosomes. Or D, ribosomes.
Good job. Now that you know the answer, I'm going to lunch.
Woo! This is a pretty impressive rock face. Let's see if you're impressed with this next question.
Question 9. If the cell membrane needs lipids to grow, it would most likely get them from A, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, B, hard endoplasmic reticulum, C, ribosomes, or D, lysosomes?
I bet you're all going to impress me with the correct answer. Write it down and let me know.
Well, that didn't sound so good, but how does this question sound?
Question 10. Ribosomes are A, only found floating in the cytoplasm, B, protein builders, C, found on smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or D, organelles that detoxify the cell.
Hey, that's great. You really have the inside beat on this topic.
So, how did you do? I'm sure you did great. But there's more to tell about cells. Earlier, I said that cells need energy to move and grow. They have their own energy generator called the mitochondrion. In fact, a mitochondrion is often called the powerhouse of a cell. The plural for a mitochondrion is mitochondria. You may have heard that term before. It's important to know it because these organelles can multiply quickly. In other words, they are self-replicating. That means they can copy themselves over and over depending on how much energy the cell needs. So if the cell needs lots of power, it will have many, many mighty mitochondria. Now that's a mouthful. Mitochondria also play a role in cellular respiration. Now I don't mean that they breathe like you or me, but they break down substances to get the oxygen they need to survive. Cells are constantly moving, processing, and producing. They build substances or break them down. If you recall, ribosomes on the endoplasmic reticulum help build proteins. These proteins are transported to the Golgi apparatus. It's the cell's distribution center. This organelle is in charge of modifying, packaging, and moving proteins and other newly synthesized substances from the cell. It basically takes simple molecules and combines them into more complex molecules. These larger molecules get put into vesicles, which transport their cargo from the Golgi apparatus to various locations, including the cell membrane, where the nutrients can then be released out of the cell. So far, we've seen that cells have powerhouses in the mitochondria, a gatekeeper in the cell membrane, a support structure in the cytoskeleton, and protein builders in ribosomes. What else does it need? Aha! A digestive system. But once again, it's not like ours. The cell uses lysosomes to break down worn-out organelles, debris, and large ingested particles. Inside the membrane of a lysosome are digestive enzymes, which take care of cleaning out all the unwanted, unnecessary substances. We can compare lysosomes to a trash collector who picks up the garbage. We couldn't function properly with all our trash around us, and neither can our cells. Other organelles that break down substances are the peroxisomes. They have enzymes inside, like the lysosome, and their job is to get rid of toxic substances. Peroxisomes are self-replicating, so they can reproduce depending on how many are needed. Sometimes you may see bubbles floating in the cell. They are called vacuoles. These pockets store different molecules like food or oil, which the cell may need to survive. Some of them even hold waste products to protect the cell from contamination. Cells are pretty amazing little structures. Their organelles do a lot of the things you do: eat, digest, and grow. That's because you are made up of billions of cells. People and animals aren't the only ones that have cells working for them. Plants and trees have cells which contain many of the same organelles found in animal cells. But not all cells are created equally. In fact, there are certain structures found only in plant cells. These structures are the cell wall and chloroplasts. Plants have a cell wall in addition to a cell membrane. The cell wall helps the plant maintain its shape. Instead of being flexible, the cell wall is rigid. No matter what happens to the plant cell, the cell wall stays firm. Another part found only in a plant cell is the chloroplast. Inside a chloroplast is a substance called chlorophyll, which gives plants their green color. Chloroplasts take the sun's energy and convert it to sugars, creating power for the plant in a process called photosynthesis. In their tiny world, these organelles work together to create life. It's that team effort that keeps all living things moving, growing, and reproducing. In this section, I reviewed the mitochondrion, the powerhouse of a cell, the Golgi apparatus, the cell's distribution center, vesicles, organelles that transport proteins, lysosomes, part of a cell containing enzymes that digest, peroxisomes, organelles that detoxify the cell, vacuoles, bubbles filled with water, oil, or other substances, the cell wall, a part found only in plant cells that helps plants maintain their stability, and finally, chloroplasts, another organelle found only in plant cells that help in photosynthesis. Now that you know more about these structures, it's time to take a quiz. I hope you were paying attention because my friends are coming back. So get your pencil or pen and paper ready.
Being a great detective, you really need to figure out what is going to happen before it does. Let's see if you can figure out what this next question is.
Question 11. Which of the following organelles self-replicate depending on the energy needs of the cell? A. Ribosomes. B. Golgi apparatus. C. Lysosome. Or D. Mitochondrion.
Well, are you on your ways to becoming great detectives? Why don't you write down your answers, and we'll find out later.
Well, we need to get some more x-rays now, but right after this question.
Question 12. The mitochondrion plays a role in cellular respiration by A. Processing macromolecules, B. Breaking down substances to get oxygen, C. Detoxifying the cell of poisonous substances, or D. Using oxygen to breathe.
Well, you're all done here. All we need to do now is write your answers down, and we'll have you rinse.
Come, it's time to rehearse again. I know, but I demand perfection. And for you, it's time to answer this.
Question 13. Most proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum are transported to the A. Mitochondrion, B. Golgi apparatus, C. Lysosome, or D. Vacuole.
Well, did you write down your answer? Great. But we need to get back to the scene. Tom, Brad, Julia, get in your places. And action!
You're not going to believe what I found out here on the open range. This next question is so rare. Check it out.
Question 14. Larger molecules sent to various parts of the cell would be packaged and distributed by the A. Mitochondria, B. Cytoskeleton, C. Gatekeeper, or D. Golgi apparatus.
Did you listen carefully? These questions could be somewhat shifty. Write down your answers, and I'll see you later.
That is a tall giraffe. I bet he knows where the next question is. Let's ask him.
Question 15. Once proteins and other larger molecules in the Golgi apparatus are ready for distribution, they are placed in these organelles, which go to various locations in the cell. A. Vesicles, B. Vacuoles, C. Ribosomes, or D. Chloroplasts?
I wonder what else the giraffe can find up there. Write down your answer.
Keeping the truck in pristine condition is always important. Wait a minute, what's the question doing in here?
Question 16. Worn-out organelles, debris, and large ingested particles will be broken down by A. Ribosomes, B. Vacuoles, C. Lysosomes, or D. Mitochondria.
Now we're all done. Just write down your answer and the truck will be finished.
Round 'em up, cowgirls and cowboys. We're nearing the end. Try your skills out on this.
Question 17. Peroxisomes, A. rid the cell of toxic substances, B. are not self-replicating, C. can only be found in the Golgi apparatus, or D. are exactly like lysosomes.
You handled that like old cow hands. Write your answer down, and I'll see you later.
All right, 10-4. I'll ask. Hey, you gotta help me. My boss needs help with this question.
Question 18. If the cell needed to store food or oil, it would use A. vesicles, B. ventricles, C. centrioles, or D. vacuoles.
Yes, sir. We got the answer. 10-4. Hey, thanks for all your help.
If you look hard enough, you can always find a toehold. The same goes for answering questions. See if you can answer this.
Question 19. Which parts are found only in plant cells? A. Cell membrane and cell wall, B. Nuclear membrane and cell wall, C. Chloroplasts and cell wall, or D. Nucleus and cell wall.
So were you able to find the answer? Make a note of it, and we'll go find the next one.
Learning new songs beats playing the old ones. Try to play the answer to this next question.
Question 20. During photosynthesis, these organelles inside a plant cell convert the sun's energy into sugars. A. Cell walls, B. Chloroplasts, C. Central vacuoles, or D. Vesicles.
I hope you learned something new. Keep it up and write it down.
I hope you've enjoyed our journey into the microscopic world of cells. It's incredible to think that all living things are made up of such tiny little itty-bitty but powerful cells. They're processing, modifying, synthesizing, moving, and growing right now. Remember, all the parts we reviewed are necessary to make the cell function. Each one plays an important role in the cell. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned because the answers are coming up. Until next time, be swell to your cells.
Question 1. B. The cell membrane regulates what goes in and what comes out of the cell. Question 2. D. The nucleus is not found in the cytoplasm. Question 3. C. The difference between a prokaryote and a eukaryote is eukaryotes have a nucleus. Question 4. D. The nucleus is the control center of a cell, contains DNA, and has a nucleolus. Question 5. D. The cell needs centrioles to make spindles for cell division. Question 6. B. Organelles, like the endoplasmic reticulum, process macromolecules. Question 7. C. Besides making fats and carbohydrates, smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps detoxify the cell. Question 8. D. Rough endoplasmic reticulum needs the help of ribosomes to build proteins. Question 9. A. If the cell membrane needs lipids to grow, it would most likely get them from smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Question 10. B. Ribosomes are protein builders. Question 11. D. A mitochondrion self-replicates depending on the energy needs of the cell. Question 12. B. The mitochondrion plays a role in cellular respiration by breaking down substances to get oxygen. Question 13. B. Most proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum are transported to the Golgi apparatus. Question 14. D. Larger molecules sent to various parts of the cell would be packaged and distributed by the Golgi apparatus. Question 15. A. Once proteins and other larger molecules in the Golgi apparatus are ready for distribution, they are placed in vesicles which go to various locations in the cell. Question 16. C. Worn-out organelles, debris, and large ingested particles will be broken down by lysosomes. Question 17. A. Peroxisomes rid the cell of toxic substances. Question 18. D. If the cell needed to store food or oil, it would use vacuoles. Question 19. C. Chloroplasts in the cell wall are only found in plant cells. Question 20. B. During photosynthesis, chloroplasts inside a plant cell convert the sun's energy into sugars.